Welcome to the Yes to Life show, where my brother and I share delicious fitness recipes, cooking tips and more. And today we're going to prepare lentil meatballs, of course without meat. For this recipe I've, as always, started to put everything mise en place. So that means I've prepared everything beforehand, I've chopped the onions and so on. And what we need is, of course, lentils. So first we're gonna add all of the ingredients in a blender or food processor. Right now I don't have a food processor, which is actually a little bit better, but a blender does it as well. And then once we have the sort of sticky, doughy consistency, we're gonna form it into little balls and then fry it in the pan so it gets crispy and nice. So I start by adding the lentils. I took 1 cup of brown lentils. I soaked them overnight and then I boiled them, so now they have grown in size, of course. And I add them into the blender. Then I take flax seeds. This is around 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. They will help with the consistency of the meatballs. For the flavor and the color, we're gonna add parsley, some chopped onion, spring onion. Tomato paste actually gives a nice little sour and umami flavor. Then we have soy sauce, which makes it salty and also umami and adds a little bit of darker color. Salt, of course salt, because it enhances the flavor. Pepper, I love pepper. It brings out this a little sharp and strong flavor. Then I'm gonna add cumin, which also adds a really strong flavor. Around half a teaspoon. If you like the flavor, you can add more, but start with a little less, you can always adjust it later. And then to make the consistency more firm and to soak up the water from the lentils, we're gonna add oats. And we're also gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now press everything down and then we're gonna blend it together. It might be that we have to do it several times and that you need to then scrape it down from the sides with a wooden spoon or a spatula. Now let's blend it up. As I told you, in case you use a blender, just make sure to scrape it down from the sides every once in a while. Again, I advise a food processor, but it works as well with a blender. Now it already becomes a little mushy and sticky. Now after we're ready, we place it all in a bowl, and as you can see, the texture already became firmer and stickier. That's the flax seeds and the oats actually doing their magic. So over time, over like 10 to 15 minutes, everything will become a little more thick. Now all we have to do is form little balls and place them on a plate, or I use a cutting board here. In order to roll them better, you can wet your hands a little bit beforehand. You take some of the mixture and then you just form little balls like this. See, they stick quite well together. I have some bigger chunks remaining here, some parsley, some onion, but it's actually no problem. You can even have them chunkier if you like it, or you can grind it completely until there's no chunks left. So as you can see, I have now 9, I have 10 beautiful and delicious looking vegan meatballs, and I leave them there for another 10 to 15 minutes so the flax seeds can make them again a bit firmer. And then we're gonna heat up some oil in the pan and we're gonna fry each of them for around 3 to 5 minutes, flip them around, fry them again. Alternatively, if you don't want to fry them, you can also bake them. So for that, simply put baking parchment in a baking sheet and then bake them in the oven for around 15 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you go, you have your high protein lentil meatballs, which are really easy to prepare, full of flavor, and you can adjust them as you like, add other spices, add other vegetables, and just play around a little bit. If you did like this video, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Thank you and see you next time.